Okay, y'all, so the snow has melted, but it's still super wet, and it's still supposed to be getting cold again this evening. So we still want something warm to eat, and I know most of us all probably gravitate towards chili, but there's a good reason. So I'm going to show y'all, we're making one of our, at least my favorite, chili. This 2 alarm chili, sorry y'all, my voice is, we've been having too much fun, but this 2 alarm chili kit is my absolute favorite. I think I've told y'all that before. It comes with all the little seasonings in it, but it lets you make it your own. So I just have 2 pounds of ground or beef that I've browned up, and it's a 90-10, so there's not much grease down in the bottom of it. We're going to leave that little bit that is in there for flavor. If you choose to not do that, or if you don't have quite as lean of a meat, you can drain that grease off, or you can use a paper towel and kind of roll it around in there. But we're going to add our seasonings in. And this is why I was saying I love the 2 alarm chili kit. We really get to make it our own. So I add in all of the cumin, and it's a cumin oregano blend that they provide. Dump in all of the chili powder. Now if you like a sweeter chili, you could even add like a ½ cup of onion or a bell pepper. Anything like that will help sweeten your chili up also. We're going to add in the entire packet of paprika. I don't usually use the masa flour, but if after it's all done it seems a little thin, I'll use the masa powder that they provide. I'm going to use a little less than half of the red pepper, just because I like to taste test it and see, and the kids don't always like the spice. It's hit or miss for them, kind of if we've overloaded them with spicy foods. I'm just going to mix it all around. You notice none of that was salt, so we're going to have to adjust and add our salt ourselves. But I don't know, something they've done, just this little packet mix, to help you create it and make it your own and see what you like and don't like. Maybe you don't like cumin quite as much and you only use half of it. I think that's what I love about that little mix. And if you don't like spice at all, you can leave the red pepper out. So now that that's all mixed around, this is how I change it up a little bit, and I just kind of make it what works for us. So I add in a can of tomato sauce, a can of diced tomato with all of the juices, a can of pinto beans. I usually add a can of kidney beans also, but I'm all out. This pantry challenge is really challenging me. And then we're going to add in just a little bit of water. I use the water as a chance to rinse my cans also and get every last little bit of that tomato sauce. Now, if you're from Texas, you can't tell me that this is not chili because it has beans in it. I'm in Texas, and I think we discussed that before. I deemed it chili, so it's chili. And now just 1 small can of tomato sauce for now. If we need to add some later on, we will, but we don't want to thin it too much. And that's it. I'm going to turn this down to low, let it simmer for about 30 minutes. We'll keep coming back, and I'll probably stir it once or twice in that 30 minutes. But we'll come back and taste test, see if we need to add any salt. And we'll also rewarm our crawfish bread, our Mardi Gras crawfish bread from last night. We're going to warm it up and have the leftovers with this. So we'll see y'all back in just a little bit. I'll insert a little clip here if you want to know how to make the Mardi Gras crawfish bread. If you don't, then just hit that little timestamp and it'll skip you forward so you can see when we finish up the chili. Okay, y'all, so we're going to go ahead and make our Mardi Gras cornbread to go with our after-boiled soup. It's super simple, and it takes your cornbread recipe up a notch. So we need 2 cups of yellow cornmeal. You could even make this with shrimp also if you want. I'm adding crawfish because that's what we like. But I know some of y'all don't have the same kind of access to crawfish. My access to crawfish has changed, and that's sad, but true. Next, we need a teaspoon of baking powder. And there is a difference between baking soda and baking powder, y'all. Next, we need about a teaspoon of salt, about a ½ teaspoon of your favorite Creole or Cajun seasoning. If you want to cut back or just eliminate the salt and do a full teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, that's yummy too. It gives a lot of flavor. We're just going to kind of mix our dry ingredients together, make sure they're all mixed in well. Next we're going to add in 6 eggs. I'm using 7 eggs just because I'm using my small fresh ones. I'm doing that. But if you have large eggs, just 6 will work fine. And these were all collected this morning, so I'm not really worried about them not being fresh. However, I really should be emptying these into a bowl and then individually adding them in. I know I just break the yolk and kind of mix it around. You don't really have to, but it's my old habit to make sure I don't end up with any like whole egg in there. You need about 2/3 of a cup of vegetable oil. Our oven is preheated. We have it preheating at 350. Next we're going to add in a small 4-ounce can of diced jalapeños. It looks just like the little green chili jar, but it's peppers. A 12-ounce bag of frozen corn that we thawed. We're going to chop 1 onion and grate 1 block of cheese to go down into this. Now we're just going to pour in our crawfish tails. And this is 2 pounds of crawfish tails that are thawed. I'm just going to break it up, mix it in, and pour it into a 9x13 casserole dish. You can see we've already sprayed it. I forgot one of my eggs. I've already sprayed the casserole dish and the oven is preheated to 350. As soon as we get this all mixed together, we'll pour it in and we'll bake it for about 45 minutes. So our beautiful Mardi Gras bread is all done out of the oven. It smells so good. I'm going to cut into it and let y'all see what it looks like. But we'll have this today with our soup, and then we'll have the leftovers with chili tomorrow. So yummy, yummy. If you don't need a batch this big, you could definitely cut it in half. But we're going to use it with 2 meals. But look at all the pretty Mardi Gras colors. I can't wait. Alright, y'all. So this has been simmering for quite a while. Long enough for me to do my nails. So we should be good. But we're going to taste test it really quick. We will need to add salt. We just kind of need to see how much. And it will all be for your flavor preference too. But the longer you let this simmer, those flavors just kind of meld together. That meat breaks up into this soft meat. And it's super yummy. So, I'm going to grab a little spoon and we'll taste test. Alright, so the chili powder, the cumin, perfect. I think it could use a little bit more spice, but definitely know we need salt. So we're going to start with about a teaspoon of salt and see how that does. You also have to think, if you're using saltines or anything like that, you may want to tone the salt down just a tad because your saltines are going to be salty. But we're pairing ours with our cornbread, so we want to make sure it's really balanced. So we're going to taste test again. Just a little more salt and I think we're there. So maybe a teaspoon and a half is what we're using. So we'll get this all plated up. I'll take a picture for y'all, post it at the end so you can see how everything looks all together. Now, if you're like me, take this crawfish bread, this Mardi Gras bread, and put a square in the center of your bowl and crumble it up over it. It helps so much. And this is why I was telling y'all, I usually don't use the masa because to me, the masa flour that came with this, because to me this is a perfect consistency. But if this is a little bit thin for you, add the masa flour now, a little bit at a time, and let it thicken it up. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll see y'all next time, and we hope you enjoy just as much as we do. Ba